Janusz Korczak, real name Henryk Goldsmith, was born in 1878 in Warsaw. His father, Józef Goldsmith, was a rightly respected lawyer. His family was from a Jewish intellectual background, and the boy was called Henryk in the Polish manner at home. Janusz studied at a Russian gymnasium. Warsaw was part of the Russian Empire at the time, and the teaching in this institution was quite tough. At the age of 15, Henryk, who was making good progress in his studies, began to earn money as a tutor, as his father's failing health required a lot of money. In 1898, Korczak became a student at the medical faculty of the University of Warsaw, and by 1903, he had already received his medical degree. By this point, Korczak had already become interested in children's institutions, schools, and hospitals, and pediatrics became his life's work. In addition, in that early period, Korczak was already writing for several Polish newspapers. During the Russo-Japanese War in 1905-1906, he served as a military doctor. At the same time, Korczak wrote for children, and soon his books The Living Room Child and The Street Children brought him considerable popularity. After 1910, Janusz Korczak decided to leave his medical practice and devote himself entirely to his project. He became the founder of the orphanage for Jewish children. He remained the director of the orphanage at 92 Krochmalna Street in Warsaw for the rest of his life. The institution was supported by philanthropists, but Korczak managed to be completely independent in the pedagogical and administrative activities of the home. The authority of the pedagogy and pedestrian grew, and soon Korczak was already working on the creation of a home for Polish children in Ukraine, and during the war he again worked as a field doctor. It is known that Korczak's pedagogical methods were innovative and even revolutionary in some ways. For example, he introduced children's self-government and a children's friendly court in his home. There was no place for violence, inequality, or injustice in his home. Later, he was said to be creating a children's republic, a tiny nucleus of equality, of justice within a world built on oppression. With the advent of the Nazis and the rise of anti-Semitism in Europe, Korczak looked for ways to live, but he was constrained by the impossibility of abandoning his orphaned children. Thus, together with his orphanage, he was moved to the Warsaw Ghetto in 1940. Despite the fact that among his friends and admirers there were many non-Jews who offered him help, Korczak preferred to remain in the ghetto. It is known that during that difficult time he selflessly took care of his children. He got them food, clothes, and medicine. In 1942, under an order to deport Jews, Janusz Korczak, along with about 200 children and his closet colleague and friend Stefania Wilczynska, were loaded into railroad cars and sent to the infamous Treblinka concentration camp. It is known that even at the last moment, Janusz had the opportunity to get out, but he stayed and shared the sad fate of the gas chamber with everyone else. Every year on March 23rd, in memory of Janusz Korczak and all the children who were killed, a kite is flown in Belarus and Poland. In 1990, Andrzej Wajda's feature film Korczak, dedicated to Janusz. I used some photos from this movie. Today, among the Holocaust survivors, there are Korczak students who remember their teacher and do not let his memory fade.